All right. Officially welcome out everyone to Market Watch Group Weekly Market Wrap. I need to change my slide because we're now starting that 15 minutes early. Why? To trade. That's the objective. Right? And so that's the objective today. My thought, the other day when we did this, I felt like we ran out of time. And so as we go into our normal routine, first and foremost, let me just remind you that our subscription service is for education illustrative purposes only. We aren't brokers. We're not advisors. We don't give advice nor recommendation. What do? We just work together to become the best possible traders we can, to have the best possible perspective on the market at any given time, to have the strongest watch list at any given time. Well, those are lofty objectives, and I think we can accomplish them together. Our agenda today, first and foremost, today's market analysis. What happened? Interesting day today. We will revisit the posture. We will talk about, but we're going to not do it in this order. I need to change the order. Mindset for trades being carried over the weekend. Some of them hit targets. If you were in PLTR, that hit our profit target. And you should be locked up with a very, very nice gain. We'll talk about that here in a second. What to look for next week. We'll talk about the economic calendar, things that are going on. What am I looking for next week? I'm looking for Santa Rally. That's not looking for. We'll look at our watch list, but we're actually going to move that to the top of the list to see if there's any trades. We're not working on any specific trading plan topic or sections this week. So let's get into it. Ooh, Bank of America. So we've had a pretty great run of trades. We put one on here on this nice looking setup, and then today it's given a hiccup. It's a hiccup. It's not wrong. It's not a wrong trade yet. It's a hiccup. That's all it is. Greg, can I see you being a participant? I see your chat. Let me see if I see you on the list. Yes, you're a participant, and I see your chat. I see you in there. Absolutely. Locked up download. Okay. Awesome, guys. So first and foremost, let's talk about this trade. It's fine. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be like, oh, I was green and now it's... Yeah, sometimes that happens. So more of the same. Let's talk about VRT. VRT. We entered here. Great day yesterday. Today it's a little bit of a pause. Still profitable overall. Still in range of our path. Still have all indications that things are working. So absolutely, I'm staying with this. And now moving back to a feature that I'm trying to reinvigorate. I'm going to give us our Trader's Minute. Dun, 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 the Trader's Minute. That's not the theme song. It's coming. Don't worry. PLTR. Let's talk about PLTR. And Trader's Minute starts now. This is our trade on PLTR that put on here on this trade alert. The trade hit a take profit zone where I and many others took a little bit of gain off the table, relieve pressure, allow you to then let the rest of your winner run. Oh, it hiccuped pretty hard right there. It gave us a hanging man candle, but it never confirmed. The next day still positive, and today we shot past the target. I believe was 75. At this point, I have locked in all my gains, and if you don't take yours, I would at least take a little bit more. That was the end of the minute. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Love it. Good trade. Is anybody still in? Are you still pushing? Are you going to push through the weekend with this? Be careful. Be careful if you do. That is our third beautiful winning trade on PLTR. Now what? Now, let's get greedy and look for a fourth. I'm just kidding. We're not going to get greedy. We're going to be just like we normally are, which is what? It just made a higher high. The buyers showed dominance. The next time the buyers take a break and the sellers give us a little opportunity, and it may be a little opportunity, we're ready to pounce. Miguel says last five. Miguel. 5 more on today. You have earned yourself the title of magnificent bastard. It's a it's a title of trading joy. Excellent work. Anyone else? I would love. I saw somebody. I think it was Linda. She's like, "Hey, does this look like a trade?" Put that out the other day. I loved it. I want to see that. Let's talk about trades together, right? As a community, we should be like, "Hey, who saw this? Am I the only one seeing this?" And someone else might be like, "Oh my gosh, I like that too." And now there's some validation, or somebody else says, "I don't know, what about this?" And you're like, "Ooh, thank you for." This is where we're really working to build the collaborative nature of this, and get some good discussions going, both with and without Glenn and I involved in the Circle community. So I love it. And I love when you guys share, especially on a Friday, when you talk about locking in those gains, when you talk about, hey, I maybe would never have pushed for that big of a gain before, but it's helpful to have things that are helping me to stay with my winning trades longer, things like that, because sharing that information helps others to pick up on the right mindsets and the right perspectives for us to have as traders. So I do appreciate you when you guys share that. All right, let's go find a trade. That's what we want to go into next. Okay. Let's get to the watch lists. Well, let's start with the market, then we'll get to the watch list. Let's start with the market. Here's the market. Oh, now you can kind of see we're off the highs. We're holding this. Why is this important? First trade I want to look at. Oh, look at PLTR. You're so magnificent. First trade I want to look at is actually is SPY. This is our calendar spread. Little bit different thought process. You can see where we are. Now, at this point, this trade is making some money, right? We're up a couple $100. I can't remember how much we paid for this. 1190 minus 945. Why am I doing this? Because there might be a trade here that we decide to put on proactively. 1190 minus 245. Nope, that's wrong. 1190 minus 945 equals 245. Okay, we paid 245. So we paid 245 times 3 contracts. The first thing that I would definitely want to be able to get on this trade, if possible, is 25%. We're there. You can take your 25. So if you have 10 contracts, you could be like, you know what? I'm going to take, right now we're at 210 on this trade. 210 out of 745. I have 3 of them in this example is 28%. You could take 28% and then you could do what? Well, the other thing that I could look to do with this is I feel like this is fine. We could pull back to 600. Fine. I don't think we're going to pull back all the way to here. So I could look at taking this and I could say, let's add another one. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Create, analyze. Let's make this a buy and let's change this to, let's say we think this is the middle. So let's go to 620. 3 contracts. right now, we would only pay $1.64 for those 3 contracts. But you can see what it looks like is it puts us in danger if it drops below 600. So let's just stop and think, how worried are we that it drops below 600 next week? That's the old high here. Versus how worried are we it gets up to 620 next week? And I think if anything, it's more likely to sit in this maybe 604 to 610 range. So let's dial this back a little. Let's even say 615. And now you can see if it sits right where it is. Now, first thing I get in 45 minutes, I get the end of the day, then I get tomorrow, then I get Sunday, then I get Monday. And by that time, this trade is now up to $320 in profits. Now, I would love if it just never dropped below 600 or never got above 620, and I could just sit on this thing. And next week, if it just sat there and it gets to this point, then I get to another weekend. Right? Now I'm at another weekend. I'm at the 13th right here. And then I can push to the next week, 1, 2, 3, and then I hit, and now what? That's the trade right there. So, this is the more aggressive way to trade this. It requires that you put additional trade on, right? And you can see it actually is about the same cost as the first trade, but it puts us into that situation. Now, without that trade, the risk is if we have a bullish week and it pushes up here to 615, 17, right in this area, we're in trouble. With that trade, 615, 67, we're fine. We're okay. So give me your thoughts on that. Let me know if you have any questions about it, but that's the thought. So for me, yeah, I like the little bit more aggressive stance of moving into next week, having this range between 610 and 620. And it's really more like 622 to 596. So I'm going to get a couple of things going here. We're going to get our alert templates out. And let's we're going to work on 2 of these together today. We're going to do the calendar. Is it good for a new trade? No. You can see it has a little bit of a bullish implication to it, which we're adding because the other one has more of a bearish implication to it. And what we're trying to do is keep it neutral overall, right? Keep it neutral overall. And what's happening is we're just giving ourselves. So by that, what I mean is our delta is neutral. See how close that is to 0? Our theta positive. We make money from time, and we have a Vega hedge if the market were to drop. So if it dropped down here, we would actually have a Vega hedge that would pump this up in our favor. Yeah, a lot of nice prospects of that that we need to make sure that we account for. Okay, moving on. Let's get to. I'm not going to build that one yet because I want to get to the directional. That's that. If you're in the other trade, yeah, you could put this on. Whatever number of contracts you have of the first trade, you could either, if you're going to close some, close what you're going to close, then add the same number you have left of the new trade. If you're just going to keep it, you keep it. But this is not a timing trade. It's not like, oh, we have to hurry and get that on. I can get this at this price pretty much the rest of the day. Let's get to our watch lists now. And Let's see what has maybe an enticing look for us. Apple looks overextended. It looks like it's ready to consolidate and give us maybe a pullback into next week. So we're going to be patient with that. Amazon, it's already moved. If you were going to trade it, the signals that we look for are coming out of these consolidations with our stochastics giving us this cross. That was the last time that happened, right? App Lovin', same thing. We talked about that one even. You said this is a tough signal because it's just this little kind of a pennant, and it turned out of that pennant, and that was it. It's there or it's not at all. Those fast developing consolidation patterns, flags. I know that Glenn talks to you guys a lot about flags. I talk about flags. Flags, pennants is the other version of that. Those you got to be ready. And those are the ones that are typically on the stocks that are moving the fastest. AXP, candidate. Here's the thing. We already have BAC. So let's just be mindful, right? We already have one. Is it too much to have a second? Absolutely not. But if you have 3 other financials, then maybe you're not going to do that one. But AXP, we have this resistance. Now it's a little longer than a flag, but it's still the same thought process. It's anticipatory right now. We have a pinch, but not a turn. We do have a good candle that is above. When am I willing to think about anticipatory trades? When my market posture is a 7.25, that's for sure. Right? Bank of America, it's on a hiccup. We got to be patient. So is BK. These are banks. You can see AXP is not a bank. It's a financial stock, but it's credit. It's not bank. Banks are all seeing the same thing. You're seeing it here. You're seeing it here. This one's a little bit paused. Okay, so credit is open. Bank is on, but let's be patient. Carrier. I would still consider this a valid setup. You can see you're pinching here. We don't have price confirmation yet. Still a high enough, high or low for me. Caterpillar still setting up. Looks great for next week, but not today. CLS, the signal's already come. You're either in it or you're watching it. CMG, same thing. This one never really gave a good entry, right? Too far. It was anticipatory on this little Harami day or not at all. CNK, beautiful setup. Cinemark Holdings, this is a communication services / consumer discretionary. Nice little flag pattern. Nice little uptick. This is coming down next week. Maybe not quite that low. Nope, I do want it, but I don't want all of it. Maybe there, right? Anything in that box is a higher low. Definitely has setup material developing for us for next week. And remember, we said this is a characteristic of this market. A quality of this market is that we're not in feast or famine mode where it's like everything signaling or nothing signaling. It's like we got some here. We got financials and industrials starting to signal. We've got technology pulling back a little bit. So we've got these little leapfrog windows developing. I love that. I love that as a quality in a market. Cisco, we took profit. Well, at least some of us did back in this area. And it's moved a little higher. The problem is you're starting to really fight time decay. So even if it's a little higher than it was here, and now you're going to have a weekend, you're fighting time decay. If you're in it still, right? Remember, our signal was back in this area here. We got the bulk of the move early, and then it's just kind of grounded out a little bit more. Be careful. Be careful if you're still pushing. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Delta. Oh, look at Delta just kind of giving this big bearish engulfing. That was never going to be our signal anyways. Diamonds pulling back. DocuSign. Oh, wee. Look at those earnings. My goodness gracious. My goodness. Fastenal. Ooh, it's now or not at all, but I'm switching. I like the way Caterpillar looks better right now anyways, based on what's going on here. So what happened? We took this trade It was a profitable trade as long as you got out pretty reasonably. It just, you can see the divergence. It's not going. When we get too far in between these two, and it did that here. We acknowledged that, but you can only give it so long. And now what? Now that it failed to make a higher high, we're channeled. Still viable, but not even if we get to the 50 and hold. I don't like the fact that we broke this and we failed to get a higher high, then we got a lower low. No. Fiserv, I mean, it held the 50, I guess, but I don't love that gap. Flex, just like some other stuff in banking, a little bit of a hiccup, although we never took that trade. GBTC still kind of moving around at new highs. GE Vernova, I still like Caterpillar best I still like Caterpillar best for industrials. Sorry, needed to get that out. General Motors, no. Maybe next week. Maybe. It's holding the 50. We said if it holds, we'll have a conversation. It's holding. We're starting the conversation. What do we need? I need it to bounce with price. I'm not looking to do anticipatory with this down here, with this like at the bottom. I definitely need a candle to come in and be like, okay, let's give it a shot. So I'm open to it for Monday. Google, no. Goldman, maybe starting to set up there. Home Depot. Robinhood. I just find Robinhood untradeable. Has anyone traded this since we've started looking at it? It's like, that's a tough one. That's not my style. Sorry, I think I've been neglecting chat for a while. Let me stop and see how everyone's doing. Okay, very nice. It's quiet out there. You guys are just kind of sitting back, listening. I get it. It's Friday. You have a coffee in hand, I bet. I'll carry the conversation today. I got it. Don't you worry. Okay. IBM. Oh, I thought IBM was going to give us something through here. You can see it just didn't. Now it's fully back up to the old highs. Maybe a cup and handle formation coming here. International paper. Oh, I thought maybe when it was sitting around 58, but now that it's all the way back here towards 56, I'm less inclined. If it breaks 56, I'm disinclined. IWM. We've got some close, but nothing that's like, yes, you've got what you want to put this on a Friday when we have so many things that are like setting up that you just have to be patient. Wait until next week. Why suffer that extra time decay unnecessarily? JCI's been grinding sideways, which makes me less inclined to want to trade into a bullish move there. KKR. Oh, hello, KKR. Look at you. If there were an anticipatory trade, there it is. What was the other one? I think I had another one too. I don't have price, but I have the oscillator. What was the other one that was like that? Was it Caterpillar? No. Carrier? Does anyone remember? AXP. Okay, so financials. AXP has the candle, but not the oscillator. KKR, interestingly enough, ironically, has the oscillator, but not the candle. So those are two candidates for anticipation trades. I'm going to get through this list in the next 5 minutes, and then we'll decide. And then we'll go back and do posture. Let me know if you have any insights to anything so far. So KKR, AXP. You can make the argument for MasterCard as well. Actually, MasterCard has a turn and full, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather catch it a little sooner if I can. Meta, overextended. There's nothing there for us now. Morgan Stanley, it's really kind of grinding sideways, so there's no rush to like, let me hurry and get in. Microsoft. Let's go to MSTR. Yeah, this is a funny one because I said, hey, it looks like it, and that was it. And if you had a stop back here, you could have a trade and you can see it gapped up and you're like, yeah. And then by the end of the day, you're like, oh, crap. And then today it's right where it started. I said, be prepared for a roller coaster ride if you were to take this trade. Okay. NDAQ. Oh, sorry. NDAQ. Ooh, okay. I mean, it looks fantastic. But for today, on Friday, without any confirmation, the setup looks great. If you were out there thinking this setup looks fantastic, pat yourself on the back. It does. Great trend, good sector, higher high, higher low. Everything is coming together for this. But for today, no. Netflix, overextended. We missed our opportunity if we wanted it. NVIDIA, ooh, a little bit of a rollover there. PLTR, again, just cranking out some gains on that bad boy. PayPal. So I feel like it gave a signal coming off of this, but the signal was invalidated by the fact that, I mean, maybe if you had an order trigger right here and it triggered and you're halfway up already, great. Yeah, no, that's great, but not after the fact. No. QQQ, no, overextended. Roblox, overextended. That was a new one from our list. So was Reddit. Both of them did quite well. Looking for more. Rocket Labs. Oh, well, look at you, Rocket Lab. I have my stochastics. Strong buying move higher. Weak move down. Buyers just starting to come back in. What else do I have? I'm going to pause for a second here, and I want someone to tell me a concern they have. If we're going to start looking into a trade based on how we typically trade, what is your concern? I'm flowing fast. Thank you, Press. AXP. Okay, you were right about that one. Carrier, BK. What is my concern on Rocket Labs? There's a gold star for this. A gold star. Decreasing volume. Not bad, Miguel. It's decreasing volume. But remember that the first part of that decreasing volume was as it approached. So these first 3 days here, 1, 2, 3, as it decreased, that was representative of big selling day, small selling day, pause day, right? Big sell, small sell, indecision. Big sell, small sell, indecision. What do we attribute that to? The sellers disappeared. Have the buyers started to come back? Not yet. But we hope they will. Right? Where it's like early in the move, no volume. But as it accelerates into the move, That's when we hope the volume upticks. Um, okay. The main concern, press, sorry, then I phrased it wrong. I don't see weakness. I see concern with how I build this trade. So, and I don't even think we're a little late. Could you have argued for a signal yesterday on the candle? Yes, but we didn't have the stochastic. So I think that would have been early, but we're not late. My concern is down here at the bottom with this. That's expensive options. Back here, when it was in the 50s, you could make a cheap argument and buy them. But over here in the 90s, yeah, that's expensive, right? So this is where I would be thinking to myself, what about a spread? Right? What about a spread trade? Can I do a 22.50-25 spread trade? So far, I would say this is our most viable candidate that is full signal. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm going to move forward with this one. I'm going to go through the rest of the watch list because I said I would. And then I'm going to work on that for just a minute here, okay? And then I'm going to go a little fast here because now I feel like I have to fly. Not too fast, but kind of fast. Southern. No. Breaking the 50, breaking the lows. Nothing there. SoFi. Not yet, but I like it. SPY. We're going to put that other trade on. Tegna. No. TJX. No. T-Mobile, close. I'm looking at it next week. I had a good trade on that recently. Toast is a maybe for next week. No. Overextended. Maybe setting up for next week. No. Maybe setting up for next week. VRT, still in it. VSCO, no, way overextended. My goodness, look at Victoria's Secret go. Walmart, nope. We need a pullback. And let's hit Zillow and let's go look at this trade. Oh, Zillow is just addressing his invitation for me. Going to put it in the mail. I'm going to get it maybe on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Dear Scott, you ready for a trade? I am. Love, Zillow. It's a great message. That's what I'm expecting it to say. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back to Rocket Labs. Okay. I actually think we might, even though I don't consider us late, I think we might have a Heikin-Ashi. Not quite, but I don't think we need to go below, for me, where's an easy place to go for a stop? Is anywhere underneath these candles. But I'm actually going to maybe be a little bit more aggressive with my stop. And I'm going to go underneath these bodies here. Because if this trade is right, I'm going to get this candle on Monday. And then I can move whatever stop I have up to here to carry forward, hoping to catch the next one of these. Yeah? Or the next one of these, where I can just catch it and ride. Give me your thoughts. So if you were to go under these bodies, that's going to put us around, let's call it 22. What's the close here? Close 24. No, 2290. 2290. Okay. So this is for RKLB. be. Direction is bullish, of course. Entry is going to be somewhere between, yeah, I'd say right now. And I'd say, so we're valid below this. So let's say 24.50. 24.770 to 24.90. I got to keep my numbers a little tighter. And we said 22.90 for a stop. I mean, there's still some range in there, you guys, right? If we're getting in at 24.75 with a stop at 22.90, we're almost $2 of risk. Why? Well, because we're going to definitely be looking for 30 to 32 on this thing, right? I'd say 32 is my target. Primary target 32. Let's take profit at 28.5, just a little above the other one. So format cells, currency. Okay. 32 and 28.5. Time in trade, 7 to 10 days is I think all we need. Let me know if you see it differently. Reward to risk ratio. I think we're getting about 4 to 1 on this based on $2 of risk, $8 to the upside. Maybe not quite. Maybe it's more like 3.6 to 1. Let's call it 3.6 to 1. Volatility index high. Expensive options. Be careful. Be careful. Let's go bull call spread. Now here's the deal. I'm going through all of this and I'm all of a sudden realizing that I've never looked at these options. And I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned. Has anyone looked at them? Let's go RKLB. Let's go into... we could do something more aggressive and just do like a short term. Okay, so we have pretty decent open interest and pretty decent spreads, actually. Pretty decent open interest, pretty decent spreads right now. And now let's go to spread vertical. And, okay, what do I have? I need to know what I have here first. I have 22.50s. I have 22s. I have 22s and 25s. I could do something with that. Let's try that. No. 22, 25, $1.65. We said our target is 32. Let me get some range here. Okay, that's nice. You can see that puts us up near 80+% of the gain of this spread. 22.90 is my stop loss. Okay, I like that. You can see that I'm very close on a spread to this little marker right here where they crisscross. What does that mean? That actually means that my time decay is positive everywhere. At my stop, when I start, at my target. The longer I'm in this trade, the better this trade is. Yeah? Okay, now, the worst day for this trade is day one because of that. So you can see, you're like, wait, Scott, I thought we were getting better than 3 to 1. Well, we will over time. Actually, no, we won't. Let me see. Are we sacrificing too much reward to risk here? Maybe I need to be a little more aggressive. Okay, that's 2 to 1 right there. 2 to 1. That's a little bit better than 2 to 1. Yeah, I'm okay. So here's what happens. We would, in this case, I think we would be getting 2.5 to 1 on the spread rather than 3.5 to 1. But time decay is on our side. Let's just sit on this for a second. I have not decided fully yet. But what I want to do is I want to actually say, well, what if I buy it even though it is a little bit of an expensive option? What if I go out in time a little further out? What if I go out to January and I buy a, God, look at that. You're out of the money. Let's go. Yeah, they are expensive options, these guys. 25s. I'm going to give this some time. 1,800 to 4,300. So you can get, yeah, that's really only about 2.5 to 1 as well. Yeah, I think I'm still going to go with it. I still like the probability factor of it. I'm going to go back to 22 by 25. And let's do, oh, wait a second. Now what did I have wrong? 22 by 20. Oh, that's the wrong. Okay, well, hold on. Now I'm getting 3 to 1 because I'm not going to carry it to expiration. That's better. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to go to January. It was the time factor was getting me. Let's go out and see. Yes, this is what we're doing. $1.35. The risk for these is not a lot per contract. Let's go down to one of these. What time is it? Yeah. I feel fine with this going into next week, but here's the deal. Like, I don't think I'm going to get this alert out, but not in time for everybody who's not watching live. If you're trying to put this trade on for before, this is when you would do it. Now, we typically position size around $200. So 7 contracts. Let's see if this thing fills. I'm going to work. Let's see. Let me get a little bit more. I've got to figure out a way that I can do a live trade and put it out. I'm working on that. I want to do it as a group so that you can do it, but I also want to send it. Additionally, look for a post this weekend to opt in for SMS texts for the trade alerts. So I'm working on getting all that we need to collect from you for you to opt into that, and then we're going to start sending that. That feature will go live. So be looking for that to come out. Let me just play with this real quickly. 22 by 25. $1.35 is the mid. $1.35 is the mid. Let me get a couple of these. Okay. Let's see what this would take to fill. Let me see if it will give us $1.40. And then we're going to talk about our market posture for the last 10 minutes before we wrap this thing up. Okay, so I'm working it for a few minutes now. So what am I doing? Let's talk about this. This is a good thing. I have an order in for this spread trade. And I'm actually going to put in the SPY as well. 3 contracts at, I thought it was 242. Now it's 269. Maybe I should have put it in earlier. I'm like, there's no timing necessary. Why did that one get more expensive? Duplicate order. I'm going to put it at 249 for a second. Okay. What am I doing? I'm working this order. I'm at 140. It's at 140. Can I get filled? I've got 10 minutes left. I want it to fill. If not, I can come in here and I can say, you know what? I'm going to give this a try at 145. The natural is 150. I know I can get 150. Can I get 145? And there it is, 145. Okay, so that's what I'm going to put in for the alert template. Expiration month is January 2025. So you can see what I'm doing here. Sample trade is a 22.25 bull call spread. Cost at trigger, $1.45. Risk per contract. Risk per contract we said was about $30 per contract risk. So there it is. That's if you're looking to put a trade on before the weekend. Now, is this trade going to be valid on Monday? Yeah, absolutely. If Rocket Lab jumps hugely, you're not going to be able to put this trade on. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's what we're looking at. So I am going to put this out this afternoon. And so you can consider it longer, build it, play with it, see what you think. I actually do want to go ahead and put this trade on. So I'm going to go in and get the mid price. Remind myself to just put it on next time. 259 fill. I knew I could get it better, but 259. If you're in the calendar and you're looking to make it a little bit more aggressively upside oriented, you would put that on. If you think the market looks like it's just going to sink back next week, that calendar doesn't have to do anything. You do not have to do anything with that calendar. Okay. Let me go check in on comments because I sometimes forget to. 246, Praveen. Oh, okay. Praveen got a better, PJ got a better fill. 141, 142. Love it. Love it. Nice. Did I miss your thoughts on VRT? I took a slice as well, Press. And my thoughts on VRT as well as BAC. Little hiccup. I'm not worried about it. I got a nice piece. So VRT got a nice piece the day before, and we gave a little bit of that back, but it's strong enough that I'm carrying it through the weekend. And same thing with BAC. Yeah, I mean, look, we sometimes when trading's going well, you get a little complacent, and you're like, oh, I just get used to putting a trade on, and the next day it starts going the right way. Like, oh, it's great. But we've got to keep ourselves grounded in reality that even the best trades and the best times and the good markets, they're going to hiccup. We got to just kind of like, it's fine. I'm not going to look back at any trade in the last month or two that you bailed a little early on and be like, I need to stay with it, because when I bail early and then the thing just keeps going, like PLTR, I guarantee people bailed early on PLTR and then it just did its thing, and that's where we should be with it. So give it the patience that it's due. Okay, let's talk about the market. Real quick check-in on our posture. Where do we think it's going to be? Let me get back to the SPY. We did make a new high, but this is the exact measure of our current trend line. So my short-term trend's not going to change. My long-term trend is not going to change. The blue looks perfect for where we are right now, right? Let's go to 1 month daily volume. So this is what it's going to look like. These three are there, but they're old. What if we got rid of them? Tie, sell, buy, tie. That's an overall tie, in my opinion. But when we have three, like if I was throwing out one day, I'd be like, yeah, throw it out. I'm not going to just toss 3 days out. Yes, it's getting stale, but that's still 3 days in a row. You can't just be like, oh, if it was one day, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to count it. But with those 3 days there, plus the tie, I'm going to leave it at a half. Next week, when those 3 days disappear and all we have is a tie, Then we're going to rely on any new information. And if we have no information, then the tie is going to hold and our score will drop. But remember, with our market posture at a 7, 7.25, we don't need volume. Volume's unnecessary to us. We don't need it. We have everything we need in the current score. So as I think about my market posture score, still 1.5, still 1.75, still 0.5. So this is going to stay the same. That's a great score. 3.75 out of 6. Yeah, it's very strong. Major market, I don't see anything changing there. Sector rotation, I don't see anything changing there. What's the only place we could see it? Volatility. Let me get back out to 6 months. Let's go to the VIX. I don't think it ever hit a lower high. I think it's all still the same lower low. But there's a lot of confidence. This is showing us a lot of confidence in the market right now. So, yeah, everything looks great. Everything's fine. I would expect my posture to stay 7.25. I don't think there's going to be a change. Bailed on 12.3 for 100% profit on PLTR. I love it. Love it. Nothing wrong with that. My only advice would be maybe next time bail on half and give the other half a chance to make a big statement trade for you. Okay. Got a couple minutes left. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? Anything we didn't touch on? I didn't see this. Phil said Rocket Lab is a Kiwi company coming from the small but mighty nation of New Zealand. Love it. Even better. Oh, good stuff. Thank you for adding. Anyone else? Also, where's Sandy? Has anyone talked to Sandy? I haven't seen her in a couple of days. I'm going to send her a message maybe. Great week, Steve said. Yeah, great week. I agree. Great week. Great start to the month. Love it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Anyone have big plans for the weekend? I hope you have a save. Now we're talking about 19 shopping days till Christmas. No, 18 shopping days till Christmas. How did we get to that point that we're at 18 shopping days till Christmas? I don't even know. This was an awesome day today. Okay, so here's my takeaway. I love building the trade, but I've got to figure out how I can do it faster and get the trade alert out same day, which is tough because I've got to use a couple of different mechanisms to get it posted. I'm not going to post them anymore on Discord. Discord is shut down. That server will be deleted soon. But I've got to post it and send the email with the text. So I'm going to look into that. But I want Friday to always be a trade day, right? We look to put a trade on in the beginning of it. We wrap a trade up. We put a trade on. We have a little bit of a trading party. Okay. Great stuff. Thanks, everybody. Schedule as normal. I'll be here Sunday. We'll start it at the normal time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we will kick off what we hope to be our December Santa rally. Thanks all. See you in a couple of days. As always, happy trading.